It's Tom from Total Balance Chiropractic. Last week, James did a video talking about how not to use a foam roller, so avoiding certain movements with it. What I'm going to cover this week is some ways to use a foam roller. So if you're looking to use a foam roller, how to do it in ways that are going to be best to actually loosen up the muscles and ways that are going to throw your body around. So stick around to find out more. Foam rollers. I know a lot of you use these in different ways, and I swear by a foam roller after whenever I do, particularly leg workouts. If I don't have a good rollout afterwards, don't loosen up the muscles, then I really find that the following day my recovery takes a lot quicker. I tend to wake up a bit sore. So they're really good to help actually loosen up the muscles post-workout. Also really good beforehand. So what I'm going to go through is a couple of ways in terms of how to be using a foam roller. So when to use it, to start off with. So as I just mentioned, pre-workout and post-workout are actually both good times, but you need to be using the foam roller in very different ways for pre-workout and a post-workout. Before the workout, you want to actually be focusing on exciting the muscles, getting the muscles ready for a workout. Afterwards, you're more focused on rest and recovery and actually getting those muscles to sort of settle down and start working out and get that lactic acid. So what I'm using today is just a pretty generic foam roller. Soft, it's got a little bit of movement to it, nothing too firm. There's a lot of different foam rollers out there, and they all have their own different sort of purposes. I find this one quite good. It's a bit of a multi-tool. You can do lots of different things. But other ones you might see spiky ones. Spiky ones, I would say, are good for before workout. Avoid using them after though, because they're really good to help excite the muscle, get it ready for a workout. But when you're trying to relax and let the muscle recover, you want something which is going to be a bit easier on the muscle. So before how to use a foam roller. So as James was saying last week, you want to avoid using a foam roller on your back because it's really hard not to push stuff forwards when you're doing stuff along your back. On your legs though, that's where I should say go nuts. Basically what you want to do is use the foam roller to work out those muscles. So how to use it beforehand. So I'm going to work on a few different muscles, and if you've got more questions about this, make sure you ask James or Ivy next to you. We can have a bit more of a chat in terms of making it more specific to you. So a couple of ones. So let's start with calves. And so front of your shins here. So start with the legs. So shins, easy way to do it beforehand is just get on top. And you can do one or both at the same time. But beforehand, what you want to do is you want to be doing quick movement. You don't want to be doing slow movements. Your slow and deliberate is more so for post-workout. So beforehand, excite the muscle, get it ready for the activity. And very simply, you can do the same thing when you're doing your calves. Just once again, get on them. I find a good way to get more pressure is to actually put one leg over the other one. And just once again, just get the muscle excited, get it ready to go. If you find a few tighter spots, sort of go in and quickly just get the muscle loosened up and ready to go. As opposed to what's down here, afterwards, say if you're working your calves, what you want is slow, really deliberate movements. And you don't want to overdo it, but you want to do it enough that you're going to get the effect. How I generally say to do, say, calves after workout is go right to sort of just below your knee. Have the other leg on top, just add that more pressure. Put your weight onto your hands. So get your bum off the ground, so you just add a little bit more force, a bit more weight, and just slowly run up the muscle. I generally say to start off different parts. So go sort of along the outside, then come along a bit more towards the inside, and gradually work your way along into the middle of the leg. And just slow, deliberate movements. Probably no more than about 3 or 4 strokes along each of those planes of movement. And once you do that leg, make sure you do both. Don't leave one leg out. So that's your pre and post for doing so your lower legs. And as when you're in the front, afterwards, slow, deliberate movements. When it comes to your quads and hammies, so the hammies, very similar to the calves. Just get it up right near, just right near the attachment where the hamstrings start. And you're just going to sit on it. And once again, you're just rolling down. Just give myself enough room here. Just rolling up and down, slow, deliberate afterwards, or fast if you're trying to get the muscle ready to go. And make sure you do it, once again, a couple of different planes. You'll find, with your hamstrings, a bit of a bigger muscle. So there might be about 3 or 4 different sort of lines that you'll look along there. Flipping over onto the front of your leg, into your quad. So your quads, once again, what you want to do is just be putting your body on top, and beforehand, fast, excite the muscle, get it ready to go. Afterwards, really slow, deliberate, work the muscle, loosen up some of those tighter spots. If you find that, as you're going, oh, there's a bit of a tighter spot, what you can do there is just sort of work on that. So just sort of go back and forth, roll around a little bit, and just till you find it loosens up a little bit. Just up and down. If you find those tighter spots, once again, just loosen them up. Make sure you're doing both legs, as I said. It's a really good way to loosen things up a bit more. Now, foam roller can also be used on your glutes. It's a good one for the big muscles right there, but a couple of small muscles are a bit harder to get in there. So what are quite good for those sort of things is a lacrosse ball, which is roughly the size of a tennis ball, but a fair bit firmer. You can actually sort of sit on that and find the points that are at the centre in around your glutes and get stuck in there. Now, the other thing to think about when you're foam rolling is breathing. So breathing is one of those things which is so vital, but often overlooked. How to incorporate breathing is to think about when your breath is going out, that's when your muscle and where you're going to be more relaxed. So when you're sort of sinking into these things, and do it on an expiration. So as you breathe out, just sink deeper into the foam roller and loosen those muscles up a bit more. Okay, so hopefully you found this information useful, guys. As I said before, if you've got questions, want to know a bit more, make sure to ask James and myself, or feel free to send a message or leave a comment, and we'll be sure to get back to you. All right, have a great day.